Hi, my name is Huma Bhaba. I'm an artist and I'd like to give you some thoughts on one of my favorite artists' sculpture, Avenza Revisited 2 by Louise Bourgeois. I briefly worked at DIA as a gallery docent in the winter spring of 2006. In those few months at DIA, spending an hour at a time in the different galleries really forced me to look closely at the works of every artist in the collection and how it was displayed. I began to examine and notice things I normally might have overlooked. It was also a time to reflect on and discover what I either liked or what I didn't like about a particular artist's work. Louise Bourgeois is an artist whose work I was very familiar with, having seen some shows in the 90s in New York City when I lived there. I remember seeing a pink rubber version of the She Fox from 1985 at Robert Miller and how it deeply activated in me the desire to explore the animalistic within the human form. The Sphinx gargoyle, with its multiple breasts and beautiful clawed feet, is amazing. Then later I saw The Red Rooms, a beautiful show at Peter Bloom in Soho. These rooms were filled with objects that reiterated a simplicity but filled with an intense emotional quality. This is something that stayed with me. Not being embarrassed to be corny or emotive was later going to make its way into my work in a very different way. I recently saw an image of her bedroom, and it had the same sparseness and simplicity that was in the cells. A single bed, bedside table with a radio, and a drawing table nearby. One of the most important pieces for me from Louise Bourgeois' work at DIA when I worked there was The Destruction of the Father from 1974. Full of repressed eroticism and sexuality, opening up to become a landscape or terrain of the body, complete with red light, making the terrain extraterrestrial. With Louise Bourgeois, she understands the domestic horror of the inside of the house and the biological horror of the inside of the body. It's all connected. But in Avenza Revisited 2, it is more about biological horror. I assume that she was not aware of movies like Alien because, in what I have read, she never mentioned cinema as an influence. But I think she might have seen images of H.R. Geiger's set design for the movie Alien and vice versa. He might have been aware of her work. There is a scene in the beginning of the movie when the astronauts discover a vast chamber in the alien ship which has a landscape of Avenzas. They are the alien egg pods. The ability in Louise Bourgeois' work to evoke that horror of the unfurling alien. The scariest thing is the inside of you, and she and Geiger understood that for different reasons. For her, it was personal. It's a symbol of the biological horror that she knew from inside her house.